morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1352, live with Ernie in the background. What's up, buddy? Ernie's just chilling. He's been a very good boy. Very good boy. Happy Friday. No card show plans for me from a dealing standpoint, but I will be at the Janesville Card Show tomorrow down in Janesville, Wisconsin. I'll just be down there looking to dig through some bargain boxes. So need to get out of the house, and Ernie's going to go play with some puppies. And that's the magic word. And so we're going to have a good old fashioned weekend. Speaking of, hey, good old fashioned, I was watching Christmas Vacation for the 24th time this year. There were some, and I tweeted out some of the inconsistencies that bother me. And I never thought about this before this year in watching Christmas Vacation like 3,000 times in my life. But for whatever reason, one of the recent times I watched it this year, all of a sudden it dawned on me that this line doesn't make sense when he says, when Randy Quaid, Cousin Eddie, says, gas money give out in Gurnee. It doesn't make sense because Cousin Eddie, they're from Kansas. And so I like I'm into geography and okay, point A, get point A to point B. And I'm like, so they're coming from Kansas. You know, if they're coming from Kansas, they're likely taking Interstate 80. Well, Gurnee is like not, and we know the Griswolds live in Chicago somewhere, probably in the suburbs. But if they're in Gurnee, driving through, why were they driving through Gurnee if they're driving from Kansas? Now, maybe there's a backstory we don't know. Maybe they were in like North Dakota, staying with family because they lost the farm. But we don't know that. There's no context in the movie. It is Friday the 13th. Oh, shit. I didn't even realize that until Peter pointed that out. Thank you, Peter. So it bothers me. And now I want to know why was Cousin Eddie driving through Gurnee to get to the Griswolds? And I also want to know where the Griswolds live. And it probably is up north. It's probably because it's John Hughes. It's probably in like Skokie or what other suburbs in that area? Winnetka, somewhere up there. So I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Like why were they driving through Gurnee and where were they going? Where were they going? I don't know. There was one other thing that, now this has always bothered me about Christmas Vacation. When they're trudging out to get this giant Christmas tree. How in the hell, they didn't bring us, how in the hell did they get that tree? Like, because the family truckster is not going to be strong enough to pull that giant tree, uproot that giant tree. So that's always bothered me. And it's also, but like, I also want to know where that tree farm is in relation to, so if they live in a north suburb, I guess realistically you drive like an hour north and you're pretty rural and there wouldn't be that much traffic on the road. But there's mountains in the background. And I know it was filmed in Colorado, but if they're trying to make it look like they're in Chicago, there's no mountains in Chicago or southern Wisconsin or northern Illinois out. I don't know. So those are some of the points in Christmas Vacation that just bother me a little bit when I watch it. And it's like, you ever have that when you're watching a movie and something sticks out to you and you just can't get over it? I just couldn't get over these things. And it's making I'm overthinking it. The inconsistencies of this. So people on Twitter pointed out, like, potentially somebody said, not sure the reason, but certainly it was intentional with John Hughes being a Chicago guy. And I think also when that was pointed out, when that was tweeted out, it probably did make sense in terms of like the line, because I'm sure John Hughes, like, or whoever was writing, like, gas money give out in Gurnee, like, that just flows off the tongue. Gas money goes out in Gurnee. There's nothing, like, from a consistency standpoint, from a city standpoint, what other G cities are along, like, Interstate 80, Joliet, gas money give out in Joliet, that doesn't Gurnee. Got to have that g. I don't know if there's another Gary. Gas money give out in Gary. That would make a lot more sense. No, that wouldn't, because Gary is east. That wouldn't make sense because they're coming from out west. What other g? So I think it's probably just, well, that makes Gurnee makes sense. It sounds fun. Gas money give out in Gurnee. Adrian on Twitter says the bank was about to take the house. That's part of the conversation they had in the living room when Aunt Edna tells Eddie to just ask Clark for the $52,000 he owes. So that's true. That's why they're living in the RV, but they'd still be coming from the west, and it just doesn't add up. JCN412 on Twitter says, they stopped in Kenosha for cheese curds and brats. Yes. There you go. So just little inconsistencies that bother me. I'm sure there's others, but I stopped paying attention after that. I'm like, I'm going to look at Twitter or something. What else is going on? That's about it. Did some shipping and listing yesterday. Listing and shipping. I've listed a ton of baseballs, signed baseballs. They're my, like, duplicates or just Cubs prospects that have either moved on or they just don't fit my collection. And I'm finally ripping that Band-Aid off. It's like they've been in my tote. They've been in I've got a giant storage tote of just 300 signed baseballs. And most of them are, it's not like I've got Ernie Banks and Ron Santo hanging out in the tote. I've got Ron Coomer and Jerome Walton hanging out in the tote, and a bunch of guys you've never heard of. So it's finally like, you know what? And I know there's a buyer out there somewhere, might only be one, but I've bought, and I think a couple of these that are in this tote, I've actually bought, on eBay when I was collecting. And I still am collecting signed baseballs, but it's like, okay, I've got my ball wall and I don't need other signed baseballs that don't fit the ball wall. And I've got a Billy Williams over here, a Ben Zobrist, Chris Bryant, Sandberg. I think that's it. Oh, I've got a couple, Pete Vanaken, Peoria Chiefs owner, a couple of the replica balls. And then the rest are on my ball wall, and the rest just go in the storage tote. And it's like, you know what? It's time to just, and I've listed some in the past. Like I got the tote down several months ago and actually have sold through quite a few. And the last sale I did, I think somebody came in and bought a couple. And I've got them at cheap prices, and some of them are on Rawlings official Major League Baseballs, which cost you $20 now. A lot of these are $10 to $15 depending on who it is. So you'll have to get the name off if you want to reuse the baseball. Like, still, I mean, shit, a used Rawlings official ball, like it's hard to find those for under 15, even like, used or what's the term I'm looking for? Marked, I guess. Dirty. Man, I spent a lot of money on Rawlings baseballs. And at this point, it's like, you know what? I'm done buying Rawlings official balls. I shouldn't say that. I'll probably buy, because there are like, I think I had one left over. Where's my Sammy Sosa signed baseball? I've got a Sammy Sosa. I don't know where my Sammy Sosa ball went. Oh, that should be in here. I gotta go find that now. Shit. But is it in? No, I don't think it's in there. But yeah, so selling some of that stuff. Did I sell my Wilson Contreras? I think I did put my Wilson Contreras. Was it the World Series ball? Can't remember. So I had 2 Wilson Contreras balls. Actually, you know what? I don't think I listed that, because the other ball I have, maybe I did sell the other, I can't remember. But anyway, check it out, 99centcards.com. If you buy 7, so you can go in by like 10 signed Cubs balls, $10 a pop. That's $100, but you get 25% off, because it's not just cards on the 25% deal. So you get those baseballs for like $7.50. So you're getting 10 balls for $75. So check it out, 99centcards.com. I am going to make it a little easier. I will be creating some new categories, because I think with with some of the stuff I've been listing with the baseballs, some of the Cubs jerseys and shirts that are just, it's like, you know what? It's time to just move on from some of this stuff, because it's just sitting in a closet. Might as well turn it into some money that I can buy cards that I want, right? So check it out, 99centcards.com. And I'll get a category up for signed baseballs for anyone that is interested in some autographed baseballs. What else is going on? Oh, so Ernie was my wife texted me like mid-morning yesterday, and she goes, "Is Ernie at doggy daycare?" I said, "Yeah, I dropped him off at 8:30. And she goes, "Well, I don't see him in the they call it the toy box for the smaller dogs." And so I bring up the webcam, and shit, I don't see him either. He's probably in a crate, and there's some that are like off camera, you can't really see. And so I'm like, well, just maybe he's in like a timeout, because sometimes he gets a little rambunctious and they have to put dogs in timeout. So it's like 15 minutes goes by, and she's like, "Well, I'm going to call." I'm like, okay. So she said, she called, and Ernie was mounting all of the other dogs. You little horn dog. So little horn dog Ernie got in some trouble for trying to hump other dogs. So he was in timeout, but he got released. He was back out. And when I checked in a little bit later, when he was released, he was playing and behaving and not humping other dogs. So, and it's fucking cold outside, man. Man, it's cold. It's -1 right now. Fortunately, no wind though. Oof, that would be brutal. But I think it's supposed to warm up. I think it's supposed to warm up a little bit. So that's good. So that's what I had. So that's what I have for today. Hey, we're gonna play Name That Player coming up. I've got a nice little mix, football and baseball today. Nice mix, vintage and modern. I had new auctions, going back to 99centcards.com. New auctions went live last night. Basketball. So I had a whole bunch of basketball cards. I found I'm in the midst of trying to get my card shipping room organized. I sound like a broken record. How often have I said, "Oh, I'm trying to get things organized"? Yeah. So trying to make some space in the shipping room, and I found a 2-row box that I think was part of a Goodwill pallet. And excuse me. So I was going through that, and it's a whole bunch of autographs, like mainly basketball autographs, some baseball autographs, which I'll probably throw in an auction here soon. I forgot I had, and basically they've been just sitting in this box because I don't want to comp. And now this is what I love about auctions. I don't have to comp. Now, sometimes there are cards that go up for auction. In fact, there was I think I tweeted this out, in fact. And this is here's a good reason why you should I'm going to remove that and find the tweet. This is a good reason why you should follow my auctions. Here it is. So here's an example of last night. I'm taking chances running auctions. Now, I'm still liking auctions. However, I don't like them in these cases. So this is an auction that sold last night. A 2019 Topps Rookie Gold Cup 150th anniversary stamp, Shohei Ohtani. Sold for $1.25 plus 99-cent shipping. Sold for $2.24. That is not good. Like, I would list I would list the Rookie Gold Cup card for $5. Not to mention this is the 150 stamp. So I don't know what the comps. I figured, like, in my head, I'm like, this is probably a $10 card. Hopefully I can get 5 at auction. Like, I didn't think I'd get 125. I thought it would sell for $5. So here's the most recent sold of that's the same card. $13.25. Mine went for $2.24. So and this was just 3 weeks ago. So that's the downside to auctions. The downside to auctions. But those are the chances you take. And in a lot of times, especially with like these basketball autographs that that went live last night, it's like, do I want to spend the time comping all of this? And what's really what's the word I'm looking for? Deflating, I guess. The deflating part when I am looking at comps is when I look a card up and it's like $1.75 free shipping, $1.75 free shipping, $1.75 free shipping. It's like, oh my God. And so it's like, I don't want to comp these anymore. And that's sometimes when you get some good deals out of my eBay store, because it's like, okay, these first 5 cards are all $1.75. And the 6th one, I just decide not to comp. And that's the one that's $12 and it goes for $1.75. So like with the basketball, like I'm just happy. I kind of like going into this, especially when it's basketball and football autos. I kind of like to go, or hockey, like the young guns, like when they sell for like $7, I'm like, yes. Like I was just hoping for 99 cents. But when it's baseball and it's stuff I know, it's like, okay, that Ohtani should not have sold for $1.25. So that's the downside to auctions. But I'm learning in with each auction and with each depressing ending on some of these, I know, okay, this is going to be a buy it now listing. Like I am not going to put something like this at auction and let it go for $1.25 when I could, I would have, if I was going to list that as a buy it now, what I would have done is, okay, this one sold for $13 back in November. I'm going to list this for 10, free shipping, $10 free shipping. It probably would have sold. Maybe somebody takes the 25% off. It goes for $7.50. I'm still happy because I think I paid 50 cents for it. But when it goes for $2.24, it's like, oh, that just eats into all of the money I spent on it. So that's the downside to auction. And I think that was the Ohtani. That might have been out of the Goodwill palette. In fact, now that I think of it, I don't think that was something I pulled out of a 50-cent box. But there you go. Hey! No! Where's your bone? Here is a Pete Alonso. Speaking of rookie gold cups, here's a Pete Alonso with Ernie T. All right. Why didn't you go for the Steve Garvey? Where's your bone? Go get your bone. All right. I used to not have to, or I used to have to worry about Ernie eating baseball cards, but here's before I'm going to go to the top of the chat, but here's something Shane points out. There are over 13,000 Ohtani auctions in the sports card category, 11 for David DeCastro. Pretty much sums it up. Yeah, the gold refractor David DeCastro sells for $46. Ohtani rookie gold cup short print stamp sells for $1.25. There you go. All right, back to the top of the chat we go. Kyle, what's happening? Good morning. Christian's here. Good morning. George is here. He might be asleep by now. It's a late for all Friday. Yes, I was a little tardy this morning. Orlando is here. What's happening? Good morning, Uncle Rich. George is also drunk, so I'm here, but it may be short-lived. About time to pass out. George, by the time we read that, that's been about 20 minutes. George, he's probably sleeping. Tracy, good morning. Have a great weekend. Scott's here. What's happening? Steel Cards in the house. Good morning. Bushnell is here. What's up, Dave? Andy Mack, good morning. It is Friday. Uncle Rich says, Ernie, more Ernie is a winner. Talking about you, buddy. Can you see him back there? There's Ernie. What's up, buddy? TGIF. Red Light says, good morning. What's happening? Sugar Shane, what's going on? Good morning. Dystemic is in the house. What's happening? Orlando posted my top 25 cards video, including the Anson cards. Ooh, I need to check that out. Friend of mine just picked up an awesome collection. 350 T206, including a Walter Johnson, Christy Mathewson, the Tinker Evers Chance. It was like a random assortment of, there was 100 of the Gaudy Native American cards, 2 Jordan rookies, a PSA 8 and a PSA 4, a 1982 Topps football complete set. What else was in there? He was rolling off all the stuff. So really cool pickup that he bought. Philly Joe, good morning. What's happening? Let's name that player. George says, been watching The Kings of Tupelo on Netflix. Good to see the homeland get some proper spotlight. I saw a little snippet of that as I was perusing Netflix the other night. Is that the Elvis? Was that about the Elvis? I almost watched that, about the Elvis impersonators. Uncle Rich says, so I hope to catch Bo's event Sunday morning. Yes, tomorrow is the Couch People Christmas party. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. Ernie will be with us. Offbeat All-Stars will be here with us. East Coast Tom will be in the house. So we'll be hanging out. And you are all invited to join us on the stream. I'll have the link up tomorrow. And we just hang out. I've got some, I still haven't decided if I'm going to rip into my Chrome update case or not. It's currently up for on eBay, but I may just take it down and rip into it. 'Cause I don't know. It's really hard to sell cases on eBay. I have in the past, but it's not easy. It's not fast. What else? I've got 1 box of NPB left. I've got a box of 2020 update. I do have a case of the 2016 Topps Update mega boxes. I'll probably rip into that. In fact, I haven't. I was going to look the prices of those up yesterday. I'm sure they're probably available. What's up? What's going on over there? Topps Update mega box case. Yeah, so they're available on eBay. And I think they were still on sale on Blowout Black Friday this year. $470. You know, I think I paid $300, like $470. If I were to sell it at $470, like it's just not much margin. So we'll rip into that mega box case. Brian, good morning. How can the greatest film of all time have plot holes that bother you, yet you love all the Hallmark Channel movies with no question? It's probably because I watch Hallmark movies like once And then some of them I watch, like I have my favorites. But Christmas Vacation I've seen like a zillion times. So it's just things that over time you pick up. Hey, speaking of Hallmark Christmas movies, though, before Christmas Vacation came on, I did watch a Hallmark Christmas movie that I have not seen. I think it was released a couple weeks ago. It's the one about the Kansas City Chiefs. No. Where's your bone? Where's your bone? It's really good. Now, I'm sure there's plot holes, but I was only half paying attention, but that's a really good one. Like that, I think will be among my favorite Hallmark Christmas movies. I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but it's, I don't know. Like I'm sure it was Hallmark paid the Kansas City Chiefs because it was in a couple Kansas City Chiefs are make an appearance. I think the owner, the girls, or I think one's a girl, one's probably the wife. The Hunts, is it Gracie Hunt? I think she's in there, and her mom. A couple of the players, Trent Green. I'm like, holy shit, Trent Green made an appearance in this movie. So like, there's a lot of like, oh my god. So a great movie. George says, what are the requirements for these top 25? My cards are worth pennies, so I don't care about values. I think we all have different requirements for our top 25. Like if I were to make a top 25 list, top 25 Cubs cards in my collection, it would be like the 90 score Earl Cunningham and the 89 tops Ty Griffin would be in there. They're worth pennies. But I'd also have the Ernie Banks rookie and the Jimmy Ryan Ginter, of course, my superfractor. So like there's just a lot of, I think it's probably all, personal, preference. And I think none of us would have the same top 25. And even like if we were talking like what are the most iconic cards of all time, we would still argue and debate over what is iconic and what's not. Happy Friday the 13th. You know what's disappointing is like AMC doesn't run marathons of Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th. Like they used to, I thought. We just had a Friday the 13th like fairly recently, right? Now I've got to look it up. It was probably like, oh yeah, we hit it in February. When was the last? I thought there was one in like September or October. So Friday the 13th. So that was a Wednesday in November. October was Sunday. Yeah, it was September. We had a Friday the 13th in September, which is a great time. Like we're getting into fall. We're getting into the spooky season. Like September 13th would have been a great time for a Friday the 13th marathon. Nothing. In fact, I think I went searching the different platforms, and I think any Friday the 13th movie is like you have to rent it on Amazon Prime or somewhere. Orlando says Hallmark Christmas movies are the best. Amen. Love me some Hallmark Christmas movies. Jody, what's up? Good morning. George says Christmas Vacation never bothered me. Cousin Eddie is my spirit animal. It certainly doesn't bother me. I love it. I watch it 20 times a year. Carrie, what's going on? Richardson's Tree Farm is in Spring Grove. Okay, so this makes a little sense. Let's look at where's Spring Grove? Oh, Spring Grove, Illinois to Gurnee. Okay, and that makes sense because Spring Grove's like kind of out. It's only from Gurnee, it's only 35 minutes. So that's so if you're in the North Burbs. So I'm looking at a map. Let's just we'll wrong screen. Let's share this one instead. So you're coming from Kansas. Where's Kansas? Oh, down here. So you're coming to Kansas. Now, I think they're like out in western rural Kansas, but they're probably hopping on Interstate 70. Okay. You're going through Topeka. You're probably hitting St. Louis and coming up from the south, right? You're not even coming in from I-80. I was thinking I was getting Kansas and Nebraska mixed up. So, like, if you're coming from Kansas, like, why are you up in Gurnee? Unless the Griswolds live in Wadsworth. Like, they live like up on the border. Like, then it makes sense. Like, gas money give out in Gurnee. If they're like way up here in Zion. And then that makes sense. If they're north of Gurnee, or maybe they're out in Lake Villa. And they're coming up on 94. Yeah, 94. Gas money give out in Gurnee. You know, and they're up in Wadsworth or Zion. Gas money give out in Gurnee. And then they're going out to Spring Grove to the Christmas tree farm. That's pretty rural. There's no mountains out there. There's a big lake, few lakes. All right. But I mean, if they're coming from the south and they run out of gas in Gurnee, like then they're way up there. Like there's not much north of Gurnee in Illinois. Andy Mack says, you and I watch similarly, and no one likes watching with us while we overanalyze. George says, now the guy mispronounced Korean words on the Kings of Tupelo, and that bothers me. Sometimes that happens. Brian says, also, the RV was obtained where? How do we know he did drive to Gurnee to pick the damn thing up? It's a good point. Yeah, and we never know because he said, it was initially said, he told Clark initially that he was borrowing it. Was he borrowing it from a friend? And then it comes out that, no, that's my RV. So he probably bought it somewhere in Hays, Kansas. But yeah, I'd like to know that too. I think there should be a movie or maybe just a short film. Any filmmakers in here, make a short film on from Eddie's standpoint and the trip to the Chicagoland area. And let's wrap this all up within a nice little bow. We need a screenwriter, write a script. I want to see it. Where's the RV come from? How does he buy the RV? Why is he losing the farm? Why in the hell is he driving through Gurnee? Where do the Griswolds live? I want all of this stuff tied up. It's been long enough. 35 years. It's been 35 years. Can you believe that? It has been 35 years since Christmas Vacation came out in the theater. That's insane. Dave says gas money gave out in Galesburg. There you go. But why were they 74? Interstate 74 doesn't add up because they'd be coming up from the south and you're just way out in nowhere. Gas money give out in Galesburg. Rich says, during my last infusion, I saw a movie called Radio Christmas. The plot twists were obvious but fun. Radio Christmas. I don't know if I've seen that one. If Bo likes Christmas movies, he needs to watch that one. Radio Christmas. I'm going to Google that right now. Radio Christmas movie. 2019. It sounds like it's about a radio station. Where's the Wikipedia? I like Wikipedia. I don't like how Google's not easy. Is there a better search engine now? Like Google sucks now as a search engine. I need a better search engine. Here's IMDb. I want freaking Wikipedia. Like Wikipedia doesn't come up. Radio Christmas. There's a Christmas specials wiki. Even better. Okay, it's a Lifetime. Keisha Knight Pulliam. Was she on Cosby Show? Here's the summary of Radio Christmas, 2019 Lifetime Christmas movie. When her Philadelphia radio station is closed for repairs during the holidays, DJ Kara Porter is forced to broadcast from the small town of Bethlehem. We know where this is going. Desperate to increase her numbers and get promoted outside of Radio Christmas, a year-round Christmas station, Kara seeks to uncover the identity of the town's secret Santa, an anonymous benefactor that saved all of Bethlehem's Christmas festivities. Along the way, she discovers the true meaning of family, community, love, and of course, Christmas. Tim Reed is also in Radio Christmas. Tim Reed from WKRP in Cincinnati. Radio Christmas. Yeah, I think I do need to watch that. Cooter's in the house. Cousin Eddie and his RB eventually moved in down the street from me. Oh, yes. That's right. I remember that story. Brian says, I figured Bo was going to talk about the bedroom scene where you can clearly see Beverly D'Angelo's areola. Oh, yeah. Beverly D'Angelo. Michael Renicky, what's happening? Good morning. Dystemic says, if I didn't have my trip, I'd buy the Alan Anderson Scott Erickson dual. That is in my eBay store, Minnesota Twins dual auto. Scott Erickson, Alan Anderson. I think that was in a Goodwill pallet. Or no. That might have been in a bulk buy, like in a bulk collection I bought. A long time. It's been sitting in that tub for a while. Red Light says, I get a lot of them from you. I got a lot of them from you. Yes. And thank you. You want some more? 99centcards.com. Johnny M's in the house. Good morning. Bought a lot this week and it had a Willie Mays auto ball in it. No COA. So we're going to list it as uncertified for $75. We'll see what happens. Or you could do and I think it's a scam, but the Beckett quick authentication thing, I don't believe it. I think they're just stealing your $10, but it's $10. You get a quick opinion, I think is what they call it. So you could always do that and piss away $10, I guess. Rich says, Ernie is the alpha male in Bo's family. That's right. You are, buddy. He is the alpha male. Ernie the pervy. Bingo card complete. Ernie changes Bo's oil now. Yeah, that's right. Andy Mack says the Otani is a new comp for buyers to reference. Rich Klein says Ernie has good taste in cards. He chose Pete Alonso over Steve. I had a Steve Garvey, and I'm like, oh. I had a Steve Garvey sitting right on top. And nope, he dug the Pete Alonso out. He's like, I want this one. Max says, get it a cage. No, we're not going to cage Ernie. Unicorn Cupcake says, does your wife ever buy you cards or sports stuff for holidays? Yes. She didn't at first, but now she does. It took a while. It took a few years, but she came around. Yeah, she'll usually buy me like a blaster box or a complete set. Something random usually. George says it was about the Elvis impersonators that tried to off some politicians. I think I ended up watching something. What did I end up watching? I ended up watching something else on Netflix. I can't remember. So it must have been good. It was a true crime documentary on. It was about a serial killer rapist in Michigan. Something. I needed something to counteract the Christmas movies that I consume throughout the day. Andy says, auction that case. Last two cases auctioned for $800+. Oh man, I don't know if I want to take that risk. George says, if you're going to auction cases, you got to clarify, not CT scan. And maybe that's why they're like, well, was this Chrome update scan, CT scan? Herb Washington, 1975, Herb Washington. Bradley, go Vikings. George says that Herb Washington rainbow will tick off something like 4 cards of the top 25. Wadsworth is a perverted name. I need another beer. Unicorn Cupcake says, saw on Reddit today that some dude has card pack vending machines in Madison and Sun Prairie. Kind of cool. Yes. I think it's at the Sun Prairie Walmart or Hy-Vee. Yeah, I haven't. I think it's a cool little idea. I wouldn't buy any cards out of them, but for a quick pack, I guess, for kids, pretty cool. Orlando says it's the weekend to George already. It is. It's Friday night, and I'm trying to do the time math. Friday night in Korea. Unicorn Cupcake says, I'd be worried about dinged corners, but still neat. I agree. George says, it is indeed Orlando. My day ended and I drove straight home to a beer. There you go. Christian says, I saw there is a Christmas Vacation 2. Has anyone seen this? And is it as bad as it sounds? I don't know if I've seen it. I'm sure I have. And it probably is very bad. Max says, questions that don't need answering for 100, Alex. Brian says, unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever know or have a movie with Randy in it. I don't even think he's allowed in the United States anymore. Yeah, it wouldn't be with Cousin. I mean, plus it like you need like a young Cousin Eddie. Like you don't want what Cousin Eddie looks like today. It's got to be like a youthful, a 1989 Cousin Eddie. Happy Friday, Brian. George says, I think I watched some National Lampoons 2 or something, and I enjoyed it. Bargain Boxer says, thanks for the I-74 shout out. There you go, I-74. Max says, Rich, imagine that, a plot twist in a Hallmark Christmas movie being predictable. That's right, there is. John says, Pornhub has the most accurate search engine I know of. Mikey says, hi, everyone. I'm tuning in from Kroger. What's up, Kroger? Bargain Boxer says Kroger is still a thing? Question. They are. Yeah, Kroger owns like a ton of grocery stores. Kroger's like so like all the grocery store, we don't have Kroger here, but we have Metro Market, which is owned by Kroger. And they own, here, I'm on Wikipedia already. Kroger grocery store. Here we go. Kroger. Let's see. Kroger operates 2,719 grocery stores under its various banners and divisions in 35 states. So yeah, we have Metro Market here, which is a Kroger company. What else? Albertsons. Is Albertsons? Trying to find what are the other names that they go by? Roundy's. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Dillon's, Food for Less, Fred Meyer, Fry's, Harris Teeter, Home Chef, King Soopers, Kroger, The Little Clinic, Mariano's, QFC, Ralph's, Roundy's, Metro Market, Pick and Save, J.C. Smith's, Vitacost. Those are the Kroger stores. Those are all owned by Kroger. Where we at? Let's see. Yeah, they are. Kroger trying for the monopoly. Shame. George says, John, you need to search out the Galby Queen on YouTube. She is the corporate meat selling equivalent on the Kia Tigers cheerleaders. Mikey says, I'm currently trying to get into Pokemon. So we'll have a lot of cards hitting my eBay store in the next week, including illustration arts and full arts. How about that? Mikey now diving in from Cameron Brink to Pokemon. You're all over the place. Dystemic says Alan Anderson is the only Twin to play during both the 87 and 91 championship seasons and didn't make either postseason roster. Wow. That is a nice little trivia tidbit. George says, I'm trying to get ready to impeach a president and hopefully get this exchange rate going in the right direction tomorrow. John Keating bringing the heat as usual. And I've created a whole new fan club for Keating's podcasts. Webcasts, actually. Pick and Save. There you go. That's a Kroger brand. Hey, Dan's in the house. What's happening? Max says, Kroger gets denied because of monopolization. Meanwhile, Bezos. Dan says to George, I think I found a buyer for 2014 Series 1, 2, 3. Unicorn Cupcake says they also have awful commercials. Not as bad as Woodman's. Worst commercials ever. Woodman's. Max says Kroger owns Pick and Save. We used to have Pick and Save. It's now Metro Market, formerly Pick and Save. Jody says there is a CV2 and it answers where Randy lives, and there is a CV3. They go to Europe. Oh, Christmas Vacation. Interesting. King Supers is a weird name to me. It is. I saw them like that. What is that? King Supers. George says, "What's up, Dan? We will have another day of K-pop Christmas Carol infused impeachment songs tomorrow." Dan wants to know what George is doing for Christmas. Mikey is trying to diversify his eBay store. Cameron Brink gets Uncle Rich's attention. George says, "Nice. Those are probably the only sets I wouldn't sell." Mikey wants to know, what are your thoughts on that? Hey, you do you, man. I'm not into Pokemon, but there's a market. Dan says, "If you were to come down here on the 24th, spend the night, eat here on the 25th at my friends for a barbecue and head home after, you're welcome to head down here." There you go. George and Dan making some Christmas plans. George has several plans, but nothing for the actual day. Max says, "Woodman's commercials are awesome." What? Because we're employee owned. Yeah, but Lonely People is a great song, so kudos to Kroger's for using that one nowadays. Dan says, "But don't blame you if you don't feel like it." Bradley says, "What is an acceptable shipping time these days? I am on 2 weeks of waiting." Well, is it actually the person that you bought it from, or is it the post office? Because if it's been shipped and you haven't received it, this is December, and expect a lag in ship time. Now, if you bought it and the seller hasn't even shipped it yet, then there's an issue. And you need to reach out and be like, "Hey, where'd my cards?" So there you go. George says, "I will give that some consideration, brother. I got to see how I am feeling in terms of tiredness." There you go. How about we play a little Name That Player? Ernie's taking a little snooze down there. Let's get, let's see. I think I'll need that. So let's take a look. We've got a little bit of everything. I think no basketball, baseball and football today. So let's take a look at the standings on the Name That Player leaderboard. Max has a slight edge over Peter, 5-4. Scotty Dubs and Michael Renicky right on their tails with 3 points apiece. Card hobbyist Dave Arnold and Matt Like have 2. And then with 1 point each, we've got Shane, Dat Dude from Duryea, Uncle Rich, Philly Joe, and Unicorn Cupcake. Let's play Name That Player. Mikey says, "I just want to make sure I can draw more customers and add an extra channel of revenue." There you go. Max says, "I've sold thousands of packages during the holiday season. Nowhere has 2 weeks been an acceptable timeline." George says, "Did you start about 30 minutes later?" George says, "My answer for every card is Eric Davis." I'm going to give you a hint. No Eric Davis today. And Dan says, "Did you start about 30 minutes late?" Today, it was about 15 minutes late, I think. Uncle Rich with a correction, 22 minutes late. 22 minutes late. There you go. All right. So first up, we've got football, 80s football. I like these. I don't even have to cover them up. Not Jody Davis. Not Jody Davis. Oh, I've got to get my YouTube up on my phone. It is Phil Simms, who was the first. Phil Simms is the correct answer. Phil Simms, first one to get it correct. Max. Michael Renicky was second. Rich Klein was third. Phil Simms. So Max with another point. He's at 6. And we're going baseball. We're going way back on this one. This is going to be, I think this is going to be, Uncle Rich will probably know. Yeah, I should. Michael says, "Try to be specific today." All right. So this one, I'll take first or last name on this one. First or last name. You know, Lon Warnicki is a good one. It's an old timer, but no, it's not Lon Warnicki. It is not Paul. It is Tris. It's Tris Speaker. Tris Speaker. I think John maybe got that one first. I don't see. Let's see. Yep. John, maybe you are correct. All right. So, John, maybe I think that's your first point this round. And we're going baseball, but modern baseball next. The kids call it ultra modern these days. Ultra modern. Actually, the kids probably don't say that. It's probably us old people that say ultra modern. All right, next up. Ultra modern baseball. Max with the correct answer. It's Junior Caminero. Junior Caminero. A lot of Rays guessed. Not Wander, not Randy Arozarena, not Vidal Brujan. It is Junior Caminero. Max with the point. 7 now. And we're going back to football. Vintage football. Vintage football. This should be easy. This should be easy. Not Mark Gastineau. Not any Taylor. It is Franco Harris. I'd take first or last name on this, by the way. First or last name on this one. First one to get Franco Harris, we will take first or last name. Michael Renicky. Michael Renicky. Franco Harris. Michael Renicky. And I think that's 4 for Michael Renicky. So he's now tied with Peter in second place. All right. All right, next up, baseball. Baseball. All right. Oh, name at the very bottom. All right. Last name only on this one. Steve Garvey is correct. Rich Klein was the fastest. Steve Garvey. Where's John Keating on that one? Uncle Rich. And I think that's his second point. Sticking with baseball next. Modern baseball next. I will take first or last name on this one. Dan says, check, please. Check, please. I did check. YouTube. Uncle Rich was first. I think Max was second. Let me confirm. All right. On Garvey, Rich was first. Max was second. Shane Zager was third. Peter was fourth. L1C was fifth. Korean Cardboard was sixth. So, Dan, you were sixth. All right. Next up, modern baseball. And I'll take first or last name. All right. Corbin or Burns would be acceptable. Corbin Burns. All right. First one was Max gets it. I'm just gonna read out so everybody knows this is straight from YouTube. Max was first. Michael Renicky was second. Peter was third. Shane was fourth. L1C was fifth. And Uncle Rich said Benson. All right. So Max with the point. He's at 8. Next up, football. This is modern football. Wouldn't consider this ultra-modern football, though. It's definitely not ultra-modern football. John is out of the country. Takes 12 minutes for his answers to make it. All right, next up. Modern football. Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans. I'll take last name only on this, by the way. I don't think we've got a correct answer yet. It's not Derrick Henry. It's not Eddie George. It's not Bishop Sankey. It is not Johnson. It is not OJ. It is not Steve McNair. It is not Bishop. It's not Tyson. It's not Brasky. It's not Johnson or Jones. It's not Spears. Oh, it's Cobb. It's David Cobb. Michael Renicky with the point. David Cobb. David Cobb. Michael Renicky. There we go. All right. Michael Renicky is now in sole possession of second place. 8-5. Next is baseball. Modern card, but not a modern player. Ooh. This next one I will take. I'll take first or last name on this one. I'll take first or last name on this one. George wants some corn on the cob. All right. First or last name will be accepted on this 2024 Donruss card. Let's see. It is not Reggie. It is not Browning. It is not Jose. It is not Dibble or Perez. It is not Tom Seaver. Peter got it. It's Mario. Mario Soto. Peter with the point. Mario Soto. And now he takes ties. Michael Renicky. Where's Peter? Peter, 5 points. All right. Next up, we've got baseball. Ooh, this is going to be a fun one. Going to be a fun one. What was the issue with the sleeve? Max didn't get it correct, so he's trying to find a reason to dispute the answer. Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati Reds. Back-to-back Reds. I'm going to give this a second before I give a hint. Last name only on this one. It is not Dunn. It is not Smiley. It is not Harang. It is not Dibble. I don't have to give a hint because Dave Arnold knows it's Paul Wilson who got pummeled by Kyle Farnsworth. Paul Wilson. Paul Wilson is correct. Dave Arnold with the point. And where's that put him? Dave. Dave is at... Where's Dave Arnold at? There he is. 3 points for Dave Arnold. And he moves into a tie with Scotty Dubs. Oh, next one's going to be hard. Next one's going to be hard. Vintage football. Vintage football. He is out. Vintage football. Fucking corner is missing. Yeah, all the corners are missing on those. Vintage football. Washington Redskins. Last name only. Might even have to go to first. We'll just accept the first name. No. Last name only for now. Let's see where we at. It's not Jim Thorpe. It's not Bill Kilmer. It's not Taylor Shaw. Uncle Rich. Wow. Pulling that one out. Bill Brundage. Bill Brundage. Even got the spelling right. Wow. Impressive. Uncle Rich. All right. Uncle Rich with the point. And he now is in a tie with Dave Arnold and Scotty Dubs with 3 points. All right, Uncle Rich. All right, I think we've got 3 cards left. Chris Hamburger, that's a good guess. All right. Next up, we've got Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs. This guy. Dave Arnold. Can you get this one? It's not David Ross. It's not PCA. It's not Kyle Hendricks. It's not Mark Pryor. It's not Drew Smiley. It's not Mark Pryor. It's not Mark Pryor. It's not Justin Steele. It's not Matt Clement. It's not Smugly. It's not Hendricks. It's not Caitlin Hendricks' brother. It's not Ethan Roberts. It's not Steve Bartman. I'll even take first name on this one. It's not Tavares. It's not Jones. Not Ethan Roberts. It's not Smith or Robinson. It's not a common last name. In fact, I think he's probably the only baseball player in history with this last name. Starts with a K, by the way. It's not Tom, Dick, or Harry. It's not Al Fonseca, Michael, Matt, Steve, John, Mike, Robert, Michael. It's Killian. Yes, Dave Arnold. Dave Arnold. I think the K gave it off. Dave Arnold with the point. Caleb Killian. Dave Arnold moves up. He's right on Peter's heels. 4 points for Dave Arnold. Puts him in. Oh, shit. Where are we at? There we are. All right. Dave Arnold. 4 points. There we go. All right. 2 left. Vintage football again. Yeah, there are a lot of empty seats. So this was probably, this would have been taken in. Yeah, because there actually are people in the stands. I was thinking, well, maybe it was 2020, but no. All right. Uncle Rich, your request has been granted. All right. I just got to find a good way to. All right. So I will tell you, New England Patriots quarterback. Michael Renicky wants more Brewers. Steve Grogan is correct. Uncle Rich with the point. Steve Grogan. All right, Uncle Rich. And he's now tied with Dave Arnold and Uncle Rich going back and forth. All right, last card. Junk Wax Baseball. Here we go. Los Angeles Dodgers. It is not Barry Bonds. Last name will suffice. It is not Steve Sachs. It is Tim Wallach. Shane Zager with the point. Tim Wallach. Yes. All right. So let's get those over there and get point on the board for Shane. Is that how many points now for Shane? 2? 2 points for Shane. So here's a look at the leaderboard after another week. Max with 8 points. A tie in second between Michael Renicky and Peter. Dave Arnold and Uncle Rich tied with 4 points apiece. Scotty Dubs has 3. Card hobbyist Matt Like and Shane Zager with 2 points apiece. And with 1 point each, that dude from Duryea, Philly Joe, Unicorn Cupcake, and with his first point today, John Maybe. All right. Fun game today. Yes. Fun game. Little, I like it when there's a variety of vintage and modern and ultra modern little junk wax in there too. Spread the wealth around. All right. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel and make sure to hit up my eBay store. I do have auctions ending tonight, actually every night through at least Thursday. I don't know if I'm going to add any auctions that go live tonight. We'll see. I really need to focus on getting some buy it now listings. And I guess I have. I've been putting a lot of the signed baseballs in the store. I did put another batch of singles in, but I need to really get some volume up on the buy it now section. So need to replenish after my most recent 50% sale. So hit up my store, 99centcards.com. And don't forget, you can save 25% when you buy 7 or more items, not just cards, but items in the store, 25% off. And that's on buy it now only. And you'll get steals and deals on my auctions. Check out the auctions running almost every night at 99centcards.com. Michael Renicky, you will see me in Janesville tomorrow. Yes, I am not setting up. Max says only place to be. No, Janesville is a Green Bay's a great show. Janesville's a great show. I think they're both awesome shows. So you don't need to pick or choose. Don't need to take sides on that one. But I'll be in Janesville tomorrow. Yes, I'll be walking around. I will not be set up. I'll just be walking around. We're going to drop Ernie off at doggy daycare in the morning. So I will go live tomorrow morning, probably around 7 a.m. And then head down and look through some bargain boxes tomorrow. So if you're up in the Green Bay area, check out the Green Bay Card Show. It's at the KI Center. That's a great show. If you're in this neck of the woods, check out the Janesville Card Show in Janesville, Wisconsin. Also a great show. So Michael says, I could be talked into the Couch People Christmas party. That is 7 p.m. tomorrow night. So yeah, come on in and join us for the Couch People Christmas party. And that is tomorrow night. Janesville needs to be left on Sundays. I prefer Saturday shows, but I do agree that I wish there was consistency. Like either keep it on Saturday or keep it on Sunday, one or the other. But I don't like the back and forth like this. And I know why. I know why they do it. It's the football season thing. But this time of year it's Saturdays. This time of year it's Sundays. I just don't like that inconsistency. But I do like that I do actually prefer Saturday shows. I like going out and doing things on Saturday and just not doing anything on Sunday, but watching football on TV. Max has missed the last 3. Rich says, if you were in DFW, we have 2 shows, a store grand opening and a Secret Santa exchange trade night. So Dallas, how about that? Max says, leave it on Sunday. All other shows are on Saturdays. There are a lot of Saturday shows. I do agree with that. There needs to be more Sunday shows. So you could talk me into, just leave the Janesville show on Sunday. Max says, you're self-employed. Every day is a day. There are no weekends. That is very true. That is very true. Because I do the same amount of work on Sundays that I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays. It's not an opinion, nothing to agree with. I mean, yes, you can be self-employed and have weekends. That's your choice. It's not a smart choice, but it is a choice. It's not an opinion. You can have weekends being self-employed. Michael says, last Janesville show was during early Bears game and noon Packers game. Very few people. I don't remember. Oh, was that when everybody complained? I had a great day. Like I had a great sales day. But nobody else did. Rich says, Cowboys noon game on Sunday this week. Even though they suck this season, that's still good luck. You're going to need it to run a Sunday show. Max says, the fact there are more shows on Saturdays, not the weekend thing. Oh, yes, that is a fact. There's definitely more. What's up, buddy? What are you doing? Oh, you're itching. Yeah, there are definitely more Saturday shows than Sunday shows. Bears playing out of country. Are they? I don't even care anymore. Fuck, just get it over with. Oh, for that show. That's right. It was a morning game. That's right. The Bears played at like 8 a.m. our time. The last Janesville show. That's right. I had a good show that time. Like I made good money like I normally do. Like it was average. So was it like, did I do better than other shows? No, but I didn't do worse. And I think most people I talked to did worse than the previous shows. But I did my normal business. And I don't think I did any like big, I didn't have any prearranged deals, which that usually propels me. I had a great show, but I also had, a couple, Shane either came up or, I've got my Acuna guy that comes in and buys, a box of cards, and that's $200-300. So, which I may bring that box down. I've got a box ready for him. So I might see him. He lives in Janesville. So, all right. That's what I had for today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Have a wonderful Friday. I will go live tomorrow morning before I head down to Janesville. So join me tomorrow morning. And don't forget, tomorrow night is the Couch People Christmas party right here on YouTube. You can join in, and there will be links to call in on StreamYard. So we'll put that up tomorrow as well. Have a wonderful Friday, and hope to see you tomorrow.